Welcome to Airborne on staugustine.com, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. I want to welcome from the St. Francis House, Rene Morris. How are you, Rene?
I'm well, thanks.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And I thought we'd have you come in and tell us about the St. Francis House, maybe a little history lesson. Could you do that?
I sure can, and thank you for having me. St. Francis House has been around for 26 years in our community. Mm-hmm. It started out as a soup kitchen, and within the year, they started providing shelter. It was put together by a bunch of churches and concerned citizens, and we have been in the same place for 26 years, 3,500 square feet of historical old building. Mm-hmm. And of course, since then, since 1984 and now, it's grown considerably, all of our services.
It's down on Washington Street, right?
That is correct. It's right on the edge of Lincolnville,
mm-hmm.
on Washington Street, 70 Washington Street.
You have people from diverse backgrounds needing the services of St. Francis House. Who are those people, and why do they come to you? I'm sure there's all kinds of folks.
There are all kinds of folks. People would be surprised at,
mm-hmm.
at the folks that do come to us for help. We've had, this is extremely sad, but we've had kids drop off their elderly parents to us.
Gracious.
We've had 2 fathers being dropped off to us, and that's very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
We have folks that have been have lost their jobs. We have the homeless that are passing through town maybe for a hot meal,
mm-hmm.
but mostly the people that we serve are folks that are just trying to get on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
We had a mother and daughter that stayed with us for a while. They were involved in a car crash. And after all their medical bills and hospital stays, they had just lost everything.
Yeah.
And they ended up homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a real crisis these days. And it can almost happen to anybody.
Yeah, there but by the grace of God. I think I remember a statistic that 50% of all personal bankruptcies are due to medical costs.
Yes.
So people get wiped out and find themselves in a situation they never imagined.
It's very hard, and you want a good life,
mm-hmm.
and especially men. Men, baby boomer times. That was their role, to go out there and bring home the bacon.
Right.
Well, jobs are scarce right now,
mm-hmm.
and we have a lot of folks that are suffering from depression, especially the men.
Mm-hmm. And
of course, they're not going to tell us that they're sad, that they are having a bad day, and a lot of them, they will go out and self-medicate.
mm-hmm.
But I have a wonderful staff, and we get to know these folks, and when we can see that they are having a hard time,
mm-hmm.
we use other services in the community, like St. John's County Mental Health, the Flagler Psych Ward, and it's just a really good community effort to help these folks.
So you can serve as a nucleus and help, for lack of a better term, plug these people into the correct services for them. You get to be one-on-one with them, don't you?
Oh gosh, yes. And we, I have the Lord with me, and I can't do this job without the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see miracles. There's this one man that we found crying on the side of our building, and he's like 53, 54, and he's sobbing and didn't want to live anymore, and we were able to get him some help. This guy, you wouldn't even recognize him. He's has a job, he goes to meetings, he goes to mental health, and he always has a smile on his face.
You get to celebrate those victories,
oh, yes.
don't you?
Oh, yes.
That's wonderful. Rene Morris, thank you so much for coming in,
Matt.
and thank you for the works that you do at St. Francis House. As a community, we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
You've been Airborne with Matt Jeffs on staugustine.com, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. See you next time, everybody.
Airborne rocks.